بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
عما يتساءلون.
About what are they asking one another?
عن النبأ العظيم.
Is it about the awesome tiding?
الذي هم فيه مختلفون.
That they are in utter disagreement?
كلا سيعلمون.
No, indeed, soon will they come to know.
ثم كلا سيعلمون.
Again, no, indeed, soon will they come to know.
ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا.
Have we not spread the earth like a bed?
والجبال أوتادا.
And fixed the mountains like pegs?
وخلقناكم أزواجا.
And created you in pairs as men and women?
وجعلنا نومكم سباتا.
And made your sleep a means of repose?
وجعلنا الليل لباسا.
And made the night a covering?
وجعلنا النهار معاشا.
And made the day to seek livelihood?
وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا.
And built above you 7 strong firmaments?
وجعلنا سراجا وهاجا.
And placed therein a hot, shining lamp?
وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا.
And sent down abundant water from the clouds?
لنخرج به حبا ونباتا.
So that we may thereby bring forth grain and vegetation.
وجنات ألفافا.
And gardens dense with foliage.
إن يوم الفصل كان ميقاتا.
Surely the day of judgment has an appointed time.
يوم ينفخ في الصور فتأتون أفواجا.
The day when the trumpet shall be blown, and you will come forth in multitudes.
وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا.
And when the sky shall be opened up, and will become all doors.
وسجرت الجبال فكانت سرابا.
And the mountains will be set in motion, and become a mirage.
إن جهنم كانت مرصادا.
Surely the hell is an ambush.
للطاغين مآبا.
A resort for the rebellious.
لابثين فيها أحقابا.
Therein they shall abide for ages.
لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا.
They shall taste in it no coolness, nor any pleasant drink.
إلا حميما وغساقا.
Save boiling water, and wash off the wounds.
جزاء وفاقا.
A befitting recompense for their deeds.
إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا.
For indeed, they did not look forward to any reckoning.
وكذبوا بآياتنا كذابا.
And roundly denied our signs as false.
وكل شيء أحصيناه كتابا.
And everything have we recorded in a book.
فذوقوا فلن نزيدكم إلا عذابا.
So taste the fruit of your deeds. We shall only increase your torment.
إن للمتقين مفازا.
Surely the state of triumph awaits the God-fearing.
حدائق وأعنابا.
Gardens and vineyards.
وكواعب أترابا.
And youthful maidens of like age.
وكأسا دهاقا.
And an overflowing cup.
لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا كذابا.
Therein they shall hear no idle talk, nor any falsehood.
جزاء من ربك عطاء حسابا.
A recompense from your Lord and an ample reward.
رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما الرحمن لا يملكون منه خطابا.
From the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and of that which is between them, the most merciful Lord, before whom none dare utter a word.
يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا لا يتكلمون إلا من أذن له الرحمن وقال صوابا.
The day when the Spirit and the angels are ranged row on row, none shall speak save he whom the merciful Lord will permit, and he too will speak what is right.
ذلك اليوم الحق فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه مآبا.
That day is sure to come, so let him who will seek a resort with his Lord.
إنا أنذرناكم عذابا قريبا يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه ويقول الكافر يا ليتني كنت ترابا.
Lo, we warn you of a chastisement near at hand, the day when a man will look on what his own hands have sent forth, and the unbelievers shall say, Oh, would that I were utter dust.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
والنازعات غرقا.
By those angels that pluck out the soul from depths.
والناشطات نشطا.
And gently take it away.
والسابحات سبحا.
And by those that speedily glide along the cosmos.
فالسابقات سبقا.
And why with the others in carrying out their Lord's behests.
فالمدبرات أمرا.
and then manage the affairs of the universe according to their Lord's commands.
يوم ترجف الراجفة
The day when the quaking will cause a violent convulsion,
تتبعها الرادفة
and will be followed by another quaking.
قلوب يومئذ واجفة
On that day, some hearts shall tremble with fright,
أبصارها خاشعة
and their eyes shall be downcast with dread.
يقولون أئنا لمردودون في الحافرة
They say, shall we indeed be restored to life,
أإذا كنا عظاما نخرة
even after we have been reduced to bones, hollow and rotten?
قالوا تلك إذا كرة خاسرة
They say, that will then be a return with a great loss.
فإنما هي زجرة واحدة
Surely they will need no more than a single stern blast,
فإذا هم بالساهرة
and lo, they will all be in the open plain.
هل أتاك حديث موسى
Has Moses' story reached you?
إذ ناداه ربه بالوادي المقدس طوى
When his Lord called him in the sacred valley of Tuwa,
اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى
and directed him, Go to Pharaoh, he has rebelled,
فقل هل لك إلى أن تزكى
and say to him, Are you willing to be purified,
وأهديك إلى ربك فتخشى
that I may direct you to your Lord, and then you hold him in awe?
فأراه الآية الكبرى
Then Moses went to Pharaoh and showed him the great sign,
فكذب وعصى
but he denied it as false and disobeyed.
ثم أدبر يسعى
And then he turned back to have recourse to his craftiness,
فحشر فنادى
and gathered his people and declared,
فقال أنا ربكم الأعلى
I am the supreme Lord of you all.
فأخذه الله نكال الآخرة والأولى
Thereupon Allah seized him for the chastisement of the world to come, as well as of the present.
إن في ذلك لعبرة لمن يخشى
Surely there is a great lesson in it for whoever would fear Allah.
أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها
Is it harder to create you or the heaven? But Allah built it.
رفع سمكها فسواها
And raised its vault high and proportioned it.
وأغطش ليلها وأخرج ضحاها
And covered its night with darkness, and brought forth from it its day.
والأرض بعد ذلك دحاها
And thereafter spread out the earth,
أخرج منها ماءها ومرعاها
and brought out of it its water and its pasture.
والجبال أرساها
and firmly fixed in it mountains,
متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم.
all this as provision for you and your cattle.
فإذا جاءت الطامة الكبرى
But when the great calamity will come about,
يوم يتذكر الإنسان ما سعى
on the day when man will recall all his strivings,
وبرزت الجحيم لمن يرى
and hell will be brought in sight for anyone to see.
فأما من طغى
Then he who transgressed
وآثر الحياة الدنيا
and preferred the life of this world,
فإن الجحيم هي المأوى
most surely his abode shall be hell.
وأما من خاف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى
But he who feared to stand before his Lord and restrained himself from evil desires,
فإن الجنة هي المأوى
most surely his abode shall be paradise.
يسألونك عن الساعة أيان مرساها
They ask you about the hour, when will it be?
فيما أنت من ذكراها
What concern do you have to speak about that?
إلى ربك منتهاها
Its knowledge rests with your Lord.
إنما أنت منذر من يخشاها
You are only a warner to him who has a fear of it.
كأنهم يوم يرونها لم يلبثوا إلا عشية أو ضحاها
On the day they see it, they will feel as though they had stayed in the grave no more than one evening or one morning.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
عبس وتولى
He frowned and turned away
أن جاءه الأعمى
that the blind man came to him.
وما يدريك لعله يزكى
How could you know? Perhaps he would cleanse himself,
أو يذكر فتنفعه الذكرى
or he might be mindful and good counsel might avail him.
أما من استغنى
Now he who waxes indifferent,
فأنت له تصدى
you attend to him,
وما عليك ألا يزكى
though you are not to blame if he would not cleanse himself.
وأما من جاءك يسعى
But he who comes to you running
وهو يخشى
and fears Allah,
فأنت عنه تلهى
you pay no heed to him.
كلا إنها تذكرة
No, indeed, this is only a reminder.
فمن شاء ذكره.
So, whoso wills may give heed to it.
في صحف مكرمة.
It is contained in scrolls highly honored,
مرفوعة مطهرة.
most exalted and purified,
بأيدي سفرة.
borne by the hands of scribes,
كرام بررة.
noble and purified.
قتل الإنسان ما أكفره.
Accursed be man, how stubbornly he denies the truth.
من أي شيء خلقه.
Out of what did Allah create him?
من نطفة خلقه فقدره.
Out of a sperm drop did he create him, and then determined a measure for him.
ثم السبيل يسره.
And then made the course of life easy for him.
ثم أماته فأقبره.
Then he caused him to die and brought him to the grave.
ثم إذا شاء أنشره.
And then whenever he wishes, he will raise him back to life.
كلا لما يقض ما أمره.
Nay, but man did not fulfill what Allah had enjoined upon him.
فلينظر الإنسان إلى طعامه.
So let man just consider his food.
أنا صببنا الماء صبا.
We poured water, pouring it in great abundance.
ثم شققنا الأرض شقا.
And cleaved the earth, cleaving it asunder.
فأنبتنا فيها حبا.
Then caused the grain to grow out of it.
وعنبا وقضبا.
Together with grapes and vegetables.
وزيتونا ونخلا.
And olives and palms.
وحدائق غلبا.
And dense orchards.
وفاكهة وأبا.
And fruits and pastures.
متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم.
All this as a provision for you and your cattle.
فإذا جاءت الصاخة.
But when the deafening cry shall be sounded,
يوم يفر المرء من أخيه.
on the day when each man shall flee from his brother,
وأمه وأبيه.
and his mother, and his father,
وصاحبته وبنيه.
and his consort, and his children.
لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه.
On that day, each will be occupied with his own business, making him oblivious of all save himself.
وجوه يومئذ مسفرة.
Some faces on that day shall be beaming with happiness,
ضاحكة مستبشرة.
and be cheerful and joyous.
ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة.
Some faces on that day shall be dust-ridden,
ترهقها قترة.
enveloped by darkness.
أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة.
These will be the unbelievers, the wicked.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
إذا الشمس كُوِّرت.
When the sun shall be folded up,
وإذا النجوم كدرت.
when the stars shall scatter away,
وإذا الجبال سيرت.
when the mountains shall be set in motion,
وإذا العشار عطلت.
when the 10 months pregnant camels shall be abandoned,
وإذا الوحوش حشرت.
when the savage beasts shall be brought together,
وإذا البحار سجرت.
when the seas shall be set boiling,
وإذا النفوس زوجت.
when the souls shall be rejoined with their bodies,
وإذا الموءودة سئلت.
and when the girl child buried alive shall be asked,
بأي ذنب قتلت.
for what offense was she killed?
وإذا الصحف نشرت.
And when the scrolls of men's deeds shall be unfolded,
وإذا السماء كشطت.
and when heaven is laid bare,
وإذا الجحيم سعرت.
and hell is stoked,
وإذا الجنة أزلفت.
and paradise brought nigh,
علمت نفس ما أحضرت.
then shall each person know what he has brought along.
فلا أقسم بالخنس.
No, indeed, I swear by the alternating stars,
الجوار الكنس.
that hide,
والليل إذا عسعس.
and by the night as it recedes,
والصبح إذا تنفس.
and the morn as it breeds.
إنه لقول رسول كريم.
Verily, this is the word of a noble message bearer,
ذي قوة عند ذي العرش مكين.
one mighty and held in honor with the Lord of the throne,
مطاع ثم أمين.
there he is obeyed and held trustworthy.
وما صاحبكم بمجنون.
O people of Makkah, your companion is not mad.
ولقد رآه بالأفق المبين.
He indeed saw the message bearer on the clear horizon,
وما هو على الغيب بضنين.
nor does he grudge conveying this knowledge about the unseen,
وما هو بقول شيطان رجيم.
nor is it a word of an accursed Satan.
فأين تذهبون.
Where to are you then heading?
إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين.
It is nothing but good counsel for everyone in the world.
لمن شاء منكم أن يستقيم.
For every one of you who wishes to follow the straight way.
وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله رب العالمين.
But your wishing will not avail unless Allah, the Lord of the universe, so wishes.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
إذا السماء فطرت.
When the heaven is split asunder.
وإذا الكواكب انتثرت.
When the stars are scattered.
وإذا البحار فجرت.
When the seas are made to burst forth.
وإذا القبور بعثرت.
And when graves are laid open.
علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت.
Everyone shall know all his deeds, both the earlier and the later.
يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم.
O man, what has deceived you about your generous Lord?
الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك.
Who created you, shaped you, and made you well proportioned.
في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك.
And set you in whatever form he pleased.
كلا بل تكذبون بالدين.
No, indeed, the fact is that you deny the reckoning, declaring it a lie.
وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ.
You do so the while there are watchers over you.
كِرَامًا كَاتِبِينَ.
Noble scribes.
يَعْلَمُونَ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ.
Who know what you do.
إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ.
Surely the virtuous shall be in bliss.
وَإِنَّ الْفُجَّارَ لَفِي جَحِيمٍ.
And the wicked shall be in the blazing fire.
يَصْلَوْنَهَا يَوْمَ الدِّينِ.
They shall enter it on the day of recompense.
وَمَا هُمْ عَنْهَا بِغَائِبِينَ.
And then shall never come out of it.
وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ.
What do you know what the day of recompense is?
ثُمَّ مَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ.
Again, what do you know what the day of recompense is?
يَوْمَ لَا تَمْلِكُ نَفْسٌ لِنَفْسٍ شَيْئًا وَالْأَمْرُ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلَّهِ.
It is the day when no one shall have the power to do anything for another, and all command shall be Allah's.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
ويل للمطففين.
Woe to the stinters.
الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون.
Those who, when they take from others by measure, take their full share.
وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَّزَنُوهُمْ يُخْسِرُونَ.
But who, when they measure or weigh for others, give less than their due.
أَلَا يَظُنُّ أُولَئِكَ أَنَّهُمْ مَبْعُوثُونَ.
Do they not realize that they will be raised to life
لِيَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ.
on a great day,
يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ.
a day when mankind will stand before the Lord of the universe.
كلا إن كتاب الفجار لفي سجين.
No, indeed, verily, the deeds of the wicked are in the record, locked up in the prison house.
وما أدراك ما سجين.
And how would you know what the record of the prison house is?
كتاب مرقوم.
It is a book inscribed.
ويل يومئذ للمكذبين.
Woe then to those that give the lie,
الذين يكذبون بيوم الدين.
those that give the lie to the day of recompense.
وما يكذب به إلا كل معتد أثيم.
Yet none gives the lie to it except the transgressor immersed in sin.
إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين.
Who, when our verses are recited to him, says, mere tales of olden times.
كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون.
No, indeed, the truth is that their hearts have become rusted on account of their evil deeds.
كلا إنهم عن ربهم يومئذ لمحجوبون.
No, indeed, on that day they will be screened off from seeing their Lord.
ثم إنهم لصالو الجحيم.
And then they shall enter hell.
ثم يقال هذا الذي كنتم به تكذبون.
Whereafter they will be told, this is what you used to give the lie to.
كلا إن كتاب الأبرار لفي عليين.
No, indeed, verily, the deeds of the virtuous shall be in the record of the exalted ones.
وما أدراك ما عليون.
And what do you know what the record of the exalted ones is?
كتاب مرقوم.
It is a book inscribed,
يشهده المقربون.
which the angels placed near Allah to safeguard.
إن الأبرار لفي نعيم.
Verily, the virtuous shall be in bliss,
على الأرائك ينظرون.
resting on couches, looking around.
تعرف في وجوههم نظرة النعيم.
You shall see upon their faces the glow of bliss.
يسقون من رحيق مختوم.
They will be served a drink of the finest sealed wine,
ختامه مسك وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون.
Whose seal is musk, so let all aspirants aspire after that.
ومزاجه من تسنيم.
A wine whose mixture is tasneem.
عينا يشرب بها المقربون.
A fountain at which the chosen ones shall drink.
إن الذين أجرموا كانوا من الذين آمنوا يضحكون.
Behold, the wicked were wont to laugh at the believers.
وإذا مروا بهم يتغامزون.
When they passed by them, they winked.
وإذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم انقلبوا فكهين.
And when they went back to their families, they went back jesting.
وإذا رأوهم قالوا إن هؤلاء لضالون.
And when they saw the believers, they said, Lo, these are the erring ones.
وما أرسلوا عليهم حافظين.
They said so, although they had not been appointed watchers over them.
فاليوم الذين آمنوا من الكفار يضحكون.
But today the believers are laughing at the unbelievers.
على الأرائك ينظرون.
Seated upon their couches, they are looking around.
هل ثوب الكفار ما كانوا يفعلون.
Have the unbelievers been duly rewarded for their deeds?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
إذا السماء انشقت.
When the sky is rent asunder.
وأذنت لربها وحقت.
And hearkens to the command of its Lord, doing what it should.
وإذا الأرض مدت.
And when the earth is stretched out.
وألقت ما فيها وتخلت.
And casts out what is within it and is emptied.
وأذنت لربها وحقت.
And hearkens to the command of its Lord, doing what it should.
يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه.
O man, you are striving unto your Lord, and you will meet him.
فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه.
Whoever is given the record in his right hand.
فسوف يحاسب حسابا يسيرا.
Shall be called to an easy accounting.
وينقلب إلى أهله مسرورا.
And shall return to his people joyfully.
وأما من أوتي كتابه وراء ظهره.
But he who is given the record behind his back.
فسوف يدعو ثبورا.
Shall cry for perdition.
ويصلى سعيرا.
And will enter the blazing fire.
إنه كان في أهله مسرورا.
He used to live joyfully among his people.
إنه ظن أن لن يحور.
Thinking he would never revert to us.
بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا.
But no, how would he not revert? His Lord was ever watching him.
فلا أقسم بالشفق.
Nay, I swear by the twilight,
والليل وما وسق.
and by the night, and what it enfolds,
والقمر إذا اتسق.
and by the moon when it reaches its fullness.
لتركبن طبقا عن طبق.
You shall proceed onwards from stage to stage.
فما لهم لا يؤمنون.
So what is the matter with them that they do not believe?
وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون.
And when the Quran is recited to them, they do not prostrate themselves.
بل الذين كفروا يكذبون.
Instead, the unbelievers rejected, calling it a lie.
والله أعلم بما يوعون.
Allah knows best what they are accumulating in their record.
فبشرهم بعذاب أليم.
So give them the good news of a painful chastisement.
إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم أجر غير ممنون.
Except for those who believe and do good deeds, theirs shall be an unending reward.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
والسماء ذات البروج.
By the heaven with its impregnable castles.
واليوم الموعود.
By the promised day.
وشاهد ومشهود.
And by the witness and what is witnessed.
قتل أصحاب الأخدود.
The people of the pit were destroyed.
النار ذات الوقود.
With fire abounding in fuel.
إذ هم عليها قعود.
While they sat around it.
وهم على ما يفعلون بالمؤمنين شهود.
And were witnessing what they did to the believers.
وما نقموا منهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد.
Against these they had no grudge except that they believed in Allah, the most mighty, the most praiseworthy.
الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء شهيد.
To whom belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. Allah witnesses everything.
إن الذين فتنوا المؤمنين والمؤمنات ثم لم يتوبوا فلهم عذاب جهنم ولهم عذاب الحريق.
Surely those who tormented the believing men and the believing women and then did not repent, theirs shall be the chastisement of hell, and theirs shall be the chastisement of burning.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ذلك الفوز الكبير.
As for those who believed and acted righteously, theirs shall be gardens beneath which rivers flow. That is the great triumph.
إن بطش ربك لشديد.
Stern indeed is your Lord's punishment.
إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد.
He it is who creates for the first time, and He it is who will create again.
وهو الغفور الودود.
And He is the ever-forgiving, the most loving.
ذو العرش المجيد.
The Lord of the glorious throne.
فعال لما يريد.
The executor of what He wills.
هل أتاك حديث الجنود.
Has the story of the armies reached you?
فرعون وثمود.
The armies of Pharaoh and Thamud.
بل الذين كفروا في تكذيب.
The unbelievers are indeed engaged in denying it, calling it a lie.
والله من ورائهم محيط.
Although Allah surrounds them.
بل هو قرآن مجيد.
Nay, but this is a glorious Quran.
في لوح محفوظ.
Inscribed on a well-guarded tablet.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
والسماء والطارق.
By the heaven and the night visitor.
وما أدراك ما الطارق.
What do you know what the night visitor is?
النجم الثاقب.
It is the piercing star.
إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ.
There's no living being, but there's a protector over it.
فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق.
So let man consider of what he was created.
خلق من ماء دافق.
He was created of a gushing fluid.
يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب.
Emanating from between the loins and the ribs.
إنه على رجعه لقادر.
Surely He, the Creator, has the power to bring him back to life.
يوم تبلى السرائر. On
the day when man's deepest secrets shall be put to the test.
فما له من قوة ولا ناصر.
He shall have no power and no helper.
والسماء ذات الرجع.
By the heaven with its recurring cycle of rain.
والأرض ذات الصدع.
And by the earth ever bursting with verdure.
إنه لقول فصل.
This Quran is surely a decisive word.
وما هو بالهزل.
Not a flippant jest.
إنهم يكيدون كيدا.
They are devising a guile,
وأكيد كيدا
and I too am devising a guile.
فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا.
So leave the unbelievers to themselves, respite them a while.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
سبح اسم ربك الأعلى.
Glorify the name of your Lord, the Most High,
الذي خلق فسوى.
who created all things and fashioned them in good proportion,
والذي قدر فهدى.
who determined and guided them,
والذي أخرج المرعى.
who brought forth the pasture,
فجعله غثاء أحوى.
and then made it into a blackish straw.
سنقرئك فلا تنسى.
We shall make you recite, and then you will not forget.
إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى.
Except what Allah should wish. He knows all that is manifest and all that is hidden.
ونيسرك لليسرى.
We shall ease you to follow the way of ease.
فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى.
So render good counsel if good counsel will avail.
سيذكر من يخشى.
He who fears Allah shall heed it.
ويتجنبها الأشقى.
But the wretched will turn away from it.
الذي يصلى النار الكبرى.
He will be cast into the great fire.
ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا.
Then he will neither die in it nor live.
قد أفلح من تزكى.
He who purified himself shall prosper.
وذكر اسم ربه فصلى.
Remembering his Lord's name and praying.
بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا.
No, but you prefer the present life.
والآخرة خير وأبقى.
Whereas the hereafter is better and more enduring.
إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى.
This indeed was in the ancient scrolls.
صحف إبراهيم وموسى.
The scrolls of Abraham and Moses. The scrolls of Abraham and Moses. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
هل أتاك حديث الغاشية.
Has the news of the overwhelming event reached you?
وجوه يومئذ خاشعة.
Some faces that day shall be downcast with fear.
عاملة ناصبة.
Be toiling and worn out.
تصلى نارا حامية.
They shall burn in a scorching fire.
تسقى من عين آنية.
Their drink shall be from a boiling spring.
ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع.
They shall have no food except bitter, dry thorns.
لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع.
That will neither nourish nor satisfy their hunger.
وجوه يومئذ ناعمة.
On that very day, some faces shall be radiant with joy,
لسعيها راضية.
well pleased with their striving,
في جنة عالية.
they will be in a lofty garden,
لا تسمع فيها لاغية.
wherein they shall hear no vain talk.
فيها عين جارية.
In it there shall be a flowing spring,
فيها سرر مرفوعة.
and couches raised high,
وأكواب موضوعة.
and goblets laid out,
ونمارق مصفوفة.
and cushions arrayed in rows,
وزرابي مبثوثة.
and rich carpets leveled out.
أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت.
Do these unbelievers not observe the camels, how they were created,
وإلى السماء كيف رفعت.
and the sky, how it was raised high,
وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت.
and the mountains, how they were fixed,
وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت.
and the earth, how it was spread out.
فذكر إنما أنت مذكر.
So render good counsel, for you are simply required to counsel.
لست عليهم بمسيطر.
And are not invested with the authority to compel them,
إلا من تولى وكفر.
but whoever will turn away from the truth and disbelieve,
فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر.
Allah will chastise him with the most terrible chastisement.
إن إلينا إيابهم.
Surely to us is their return.
ثم إن علينا حسابهم.
And then it is for us to call them to account.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
والفجر.
By the dawn
وليال عشر.
and the 10 nights,
والشفع والوتر.
and the even and the odd,
والليل إذا يسر.
and by the night when it departs.
هل في ذلك قسم لذي حجر.
Is there in this an oath for one endowed with understanding?
ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد.
Have you not seen how your Lord dealt with Ad,
إرم ذات العماد.
of Iram, known for their lofty columns,
التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد.
the like of whom no nation was ever created in the lands of the world.
وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد.
And how did he deal with Thamud, who hewed out rocks in the valley?
وفرعون ذي الأوتاد.
And with Pharaoh of the 10 pegs.
الذين طغوا في البلاد
who transgressed in the countries of the world,
فأكثروا فيها الفساد
spreading in them much corruption.
فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب
Then their Lord unloosed upon them the lash of chastisement.
إن ربك لبالمرصاد
Truly, your Lord is ever watchful.
فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن
As for man, when his Lord tests him by exalting him and bestowing his bounties upon him, he says, My Lord has exalted me.
وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن
But when he tests him by straightening his sustenance, he says, My Lord has humiliated me.
كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم
But no, you do not treat the orphan honorably,
ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين
and do not urge one another to feed the poor,
وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما
and greedily devour the entire inheritance,
وتحبون المال حبا جما
and love the riches, loving them ardently.
كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا
But no, when the earth is ground to powder,
وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا
and when your Lord appears with rows upon rows of angels,
وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى
and when hell is brought near that day, on that day will man understand, but of what avail will that understanding be?
يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي
He will say, Would that I had sent ahead what would be of avail for this life of mine.
فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد
Then on that day Allah will chastise as none other can chastise,
ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد
and Allah will bind as none other can bind.
يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة
On the other hand, it will be said, O serene soul,
ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية
return to your Lord well pleased with your blissful destination, well pleasing to your Lord.
فادخلي في عبادي
So enter among my righteous servants
وادخلي جنتي
and enter my paradise.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
لا أقسم بهذا البلد
Nay, I swear by this city.
وأنت حل بهذا البلد.
This city wherein you have been rendered violable.
ووالد وما ولد.
And I swear by the parent and his offspring.
لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد.
Verily, we have created man into toil and hardship.
أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد.
Does he think that no one can overpower him?
يقول أهلكت مالا لبدا.
He says, I have squandered enormous wealth.
أيحسب أن لم يره أحد.
Does he believe that none has seen him?
ألم نجعل له عينين.
Did we not grant him 2 eyes?
ولسانا وشفتين.
And a tongue and 2 lips.
وهديناه النجدين.
And did we not show him the 2 high roads of good and evil?
فلاقتحم العقبة.
But he did not venture to scale the difficult steep.
وما أدراك ما العقبة.
And what do you know what that difficult steep is?
فك رقبة.
It is freeing someone's neck from slavery.
أو إطعام في يوم ذي مسغبة.
Or giving food on a day of hunger.
يتيما ذا مقربة.
To an orphan ne'er of kin.
أو مسكينا ذا متربة.
Or to a destitute lying in dust.
ثم كان من الذين آمنوا وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالمرحمة.
And then besides this, he be one of those who believed and enjoined upon one another steadfastness and enjoined upon one another compassion.
أولئك أصحاب الميمنة.
These are the people of the right hand.
والذين كفروا بآياتنا هم أصحاب المشأمة.
As for those who rejected our signs, they are the people of the left hand.
عليهم نار مؤصدة.
Upon them shall be a fire that will hem them in.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
والشمس وضحاها.
By the sun and its heat and brightness.
والقمر إذا تلاها.
And by the moon as it follows it.
والنهار إذا جلاها.
And by the day as it displays the sun's glory.
والليل إذا يغشاها.
And by the night as it envelops the sun.
والسماء وما بناها.
And by the sky, and by him who made it.
والأرض وما طحاها.
And by the earth, and by him who stretched it out.
ونفس وما سواها.
And by the soul, and by him who perfectly proportioned it.
فألهمها فجورها وتقواها.
and imbued it with the consciousness of its evil and its piety.
قد أفلح من زكاها.
He who purifies it will prosper.
وقد خاب من دساها.
And he who suppresses it will be ruined.
كذبت ثمود بطغواها.
In their presumptuous insolence, the Thamud called the truth a lie.
إذ انبعث أشقاها.
When their arch criminal rose up in rage,
فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها.
then Allah's messenger warned them, hands off the she-camel and her drink.
فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها.
But they rejected his statement as a lie and hamstrung the she-camel. For that crime their Lord rumbled down upon them, utterly razing them to the ground.
ولا يخاف عقباها.
He has no fear of its sequel.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
والليل إذا يغشى.
By the night when it enshrouds,
والنهار إذا تجلى.
and by the day when it breaks in its glory.
وما خلق الذكر والأنثى.
And by him who created the male and the female.
إن سعيكم لشتى.
Surely your strivings are divergent.
فأما من أعطى واتقى.
As for him who gave out his wealth for Allah's sake and abstained from disobeying him,
وصدق بالحسنى.
and affirmed the truth of goodness,
فسنيسره لليسرى.
we shall facilitate for him the way to bliss.
وأما من بخل واستغنى.
As for him who was a miser and behaved with aversion to Allah,
وكذب بالحسنى.
and denied the truth of goodness,
فسنيسره للعسرى.
we shall facilitate for him the way to hardship.
وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى.
And his wealth shall be of no avail to him when he perishes.
إن علينا للهدى.
Surely it is for us to show the right way.
وإن لنا للآخرة والأولى.
And to us belong the next life and the present.
فأنذرتكم نارا تلظى.
I have now warned you of a blazing fire.
لا يصلاها إلا الأشقى.
Where none shall burn except the most wicked.
الذي كذب وتولى.
Who rejected the truth, calling it falsehood, and turned his back on it.
وسيجنبها الأتقى.
But the God-fearing shall be kept away from it.
الذي يؤتي ماله يتزكى.
The God-fearing who spends his wealth to purify himself.
وما لأحد عنده من نعمة تجزى.
Not as payment for any favors that he received,
إلا ابتغاء وجه ربه الأعلى.
but only to seek the good pleasure of his Lord Most High.
ولسوف يرضى.
He will surely be well pleased with him.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
والضحى.
By the bright forenoon,
والليل إذا سجى.
and by the night when it covers the world with peace.
ما ودعك ربك وما قلى.
O Prophet, your Lord has neither forsaken you, nor is he displeased.
وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى.
Indeed, what is to come will be better for you than what has gone by.
ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى.
Verily, your Lord will soon give you so amply that you will be well pleased.
ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى.
Did he not find you an orphan and then gave you shelter?
ووجدك ضالا فهدى.
Did he not find you unaware of the right way and then directed you to it?
ووجدك عائلا فأغنى.
And did he not find you in want and then enriched you?
فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر.
Therefore, be not harsh with the orphan.
وأما السائل فلا تنهر.
And chide not him who asks.
وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث.
And proclaim the bounty of your Lord.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
ألم نشرح لك صدرك.
O Prophet, did we not lay open your breast?
ووضعنا عنك وزرك.
And relieve you of the burden
الذي أنقض ظهرك.
that had well nigh broken your back.
ورفعنا لك ذكرك.
And did we not exalt your fame?
فإن مع العسر يسرا.
Indeed, there's ease with hardship.
إن مع العسر يسرا.
Most certainly, there's ease with hardship.
فإذا فرغت فانصب.
So whenever you are free, strive in devotion.
وإلى ربك فارغب.
And turn to your Lord with longing.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
والتين والزيتون.
By the fig and the olive.
وطور سينين.
And by the Mount Sinai.
وهذا البلد الأمين.
And by the city of Makkah, a haven of peace.
لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم.
Surely we created man in the best mold.
ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين.
Then we reverted him to the lowest of the low.
إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون.
Except those who have faith and do righteous deeds. Theirs is a never-ending reward.
فما يكذبك بعد بالدين.
Who then can give the lie to you, O Prophet, about the reward and the punishment?
أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين.
Is not Allah the greatest of all sovereigns?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
Recite in the name of your Lord who created.
خلق الإنسان من علق.
Created man from a clot of congealed blood.
اقرأ وربك الأكرم.
Recite, and your Lord is most generous.
الذي علم بالقلم.
Who taught by the pen.
علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
Taught man what he did not know.
كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى.
Nay, surely man transgresses.
أن رآه استغنى.
For he believes himself to be self-sufficient.
إن إلى ربك الرجعى.
Surely to your Lord is your return.
أرأيت الذي ينهى.
Did you see him who forbids?
عبدا إذا صلى.
A servant of Allah when he prays?
أرأيت إن كان على الهدى.
Did you consider what if he is on the right way?
أو أمر بالتقوى.
And enjoins piety.
أرأيت إن كذب وتولى.
Did you consider what if he gives the lie to the truth and turns away from it?
ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى.
Does he not know that Allah sees everything?
كلا لئن لم ينته لنسفعا بالناصية.
No, indeed, if he does not desist, we shall drag him by the forelock.
ناصية كاذبة خاطئة.
By the lying forelock steeped in sin.
فليدع ناديه.
So let him summon his helpmates.
سندع الزبانية.
We too shall summon the guards of hell.
كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب.
No, not at all. Never obey him, but prostrate yourself and become nigh to your Lord.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر.
Behold, we reveal this Quran on the night of power.
وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ.
And what do you know what the night of power is?
لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ.
The night of power is better than 1,000 months.
تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر.
The angels along with the Spirit descend in it by the permission of their Lord with all kinds of decrees.
سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر.
All peace is that night until the rise of dawn.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة.
Those who disbelieved, be they from the people of the book or from those who associated others with Allah in His divinity, will not desist from unbelief until the clear proof should come to them.
رسول من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة.
A messenger from Allah reciting from purified scrolls.
فيها كتب قيمة.
In writings wherein are scriptures absolutely true and unerring.
وما تفرق الذين أوتوا الكتاب إلا من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة.
Nor did those to whom the book had been given split up until after the proof of the right way had come to them.
وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة وذلك دين القيمة.
Yet all that they had been commanded was that they serve Allah with utter sincerity, devoting themselves exclusively to Him, and that they establish prayer and pay zakah. That is the right faith.
إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها أولئك هم شر البرية.
Those who disbelieved, be they from among the people of the book or among those who associated others with Allah in His divinity, shall be in the fire and will abide in it. They are the worst of creatures.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك هم خير البرية.
But those that believe and work righteous deeds, they are the best of creatures.
جزاؤهم عند ربهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه ذلك لمن خشي ربه.
Their recompense lies with their Lord, gardens of eternity beneath which rivers flow. Therein they shall dwell forever and ever. Allah is well pleased with them, and they are well pleased with Him. All this is for him who fears his Lord.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها
When the earth will be shaken with a mighty shaking,
وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها
and the earth will throw up all her burdens,
وقال الإنسان ما لها
and man will cry out, "What is the matter with her?"
يومئذ تحدث أخبارها
On that day, it will relate all her news,
بأن ربك أوحى لها
for your Lord will have commanded her to do so.
يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم
On that day, people will go forth in varying states so that they be shown their deeds.
فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره
So whoever does an atom's weight of good shall see it.
ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره
And whoever does an atom's weight of evil shall see it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
والعاديات ضبحا
By the horses that charge snorting,
فالموريات قدحا
then raise sparks of fire by their hoofs,
فالمغيرات صبحا
then raid by the dawn,
فأثرن به نقعا
and blaze a trail of dust,
فوسطن به جمعا
and penetrate deep into a host.
إن الإنسان لربه لكنود
Verily, man is most ungrateful to his Lord,
وإنه على ذلك لشهيد
and he himself is a witness to that.
وإنه لحب الخير لشديد
And surely he loves riches with a passionate loving.
أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور
Is he not aware that when whatever lies buried in the graves is overthrown,
وحصل ما في الصدور
and the secrets of the hearts are laid bare and examined,
إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير
surely on that day will their Lord be fully informed about them.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
القارعة
The calamity.
ما القارعة
What is the calamity?
وما أدراك ما القارعة
And what do you know what the calamity is?
يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث
On that day, human beings shall be like scattered moths,
وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش
and the mountains shall be like fluffs of carded wool in varying colors.
فأما من ثقلت موازينه
Then he whose scales weigh heavier,
فهو في عيشة راضية
shall have a blissful life.
وأما من خفت موازينه
But he whose scales weigh lighter,
فأمه هاوية
his shall be the deep pit for a dwelling.
وما أدراك ما هي
And what do you know what that is?
نار حامية
A blazing fire.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
ألهاكم التكاثر
The craving for ever greater worldly gains and to excel others in that regard keeps you occupied.
حتى زرتم المقابر
Until you reach your graves.
كلا سوف تعلمون
Nay, you will soon come to know.
ثم كلا سوف تعلمون
Nay, again, you shall soon come to know.
كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين
Nay, would that you knew with certainty of knowledge what your attitude will lead to, you would never have acted the way you do.
لترون الجحيم
You will surely end up seeing hell.
ثم لترونها عين اليقين
Again, you shall most certainly end up seeing it with absolute certainty.
ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم
Then on that day, you will be called to account for all the bounties you enjoyed.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
والعصر
By the time,
إن الإنسان لفي خسر
lo, man is in a state of loss,
إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر
save those who have faith and do righteous deeds and counsel each other to hold on to truth and counsel each other to be steadfast.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
ويل لكل همزة لمزة
Woe to every fault-finding backbiter,
الذي جمع مالا وعدده
who amasses wealth and counts it over and again.
يحسب أن ماله أخلده
He thinks that his wealth will immortalize him forever.
كلا لينبذن في الحطمة
Nay, he shall be thrown into the crusher.
وما أدراك ما الحطمة
And what do you know what the crusher is?
نار الله الموقدة
It is the fire kindled by Allah.
التي تطلع على الأفئدة
The fire that shall rise to the hearts of criminals.
إنها عليهم مؤصدة
Verily, it will close in upon them
في عمد ممددة
in outstretched columns.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل
Have you not seen how your Lord dealt with the people of the elephants?
ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل
Did he not bring their plan to naught?
وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل
And he sent against them swarms of birds,
ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل
which smote them with stones of baked clay,
فجعلهم كعصف مأكول
and made them like straw eaten up by cattle.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
لإيلاف قريش
Since the Quraysh became accustomed
إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف
accustomed to the journey of winter and summer,
فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت
therefore let them worship the Lord of this house,
الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف
who fed them against hunger and secured them against fear.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين
Did you see him who gives the lie to the reward and punishment of the hereafter?
فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم
Such is the one who repulses the orphans away
ولا يحض على طعام المسكين
and urges not the feeding of the needy.
فويل للمصلين
Woe then to those who pray,
الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون
but are heedless in their prayers,
الذين هم يراءون
those who do good in order to be seen,
ويمنعون الماعون
and deny people the articles of common necessity.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
إنا أعطيناك الكوثر
O Prophet, we have surely bestowed upon you good in abundance.
فصل لربك وانحر
So offer prayer and sacrifice to your Lord alone.
إن شانئك هو الأبتر
Verily, your enemy alone has been cut off from the roots.
Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
قل يا أيها الكافرون.
Say, O unbelievers,
لا أعبد ما تعبدون.
I do not worship those that you worship.
ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد.
Neither do you worship him whom I worship.
ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم.
Nor will I worship those whom you have worshipped.
ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد.
Nor are you going to worship him whom I worship.
لكم دينكم ولي دين.
To you is your religion, and to me my religion.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح.
When the help comes from Allah and victory is granted,
ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا.
and you see people entering Allah's religion in multitudes,
فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا.
then extol the praise of your Lord and pray to him for forgiveness, for he indeed is ever disposed to accept repentance.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
Destroyed were the hands of Abu Lahab, and he lay utterly doomed.
ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
His wealth did not avail him, nor his acquisitions.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
Surely he will be cast into a flaming fire.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
Along with his wife, that carrier of slanderous tales.
في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Upon her neck shall be a rope of palm fiber.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
قل هو الله أحد.
Say, He is Allah, the one and unique.
الله الصمد.
Allah, who is in need of none and of whom all are in need.
لم يلد ولم يولد.
He neither begot any nor was he begotten.
ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
And none is comparable to him.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
قل أعوذ برب الفلق.
Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of the rising day
من شر ما خلق.
from the evil of all that He created,
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب.
from the evil of night's darkness when it spreads around,
ومن شر النفاثات في العقد.
from the evil of the women who blow on knots,
ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
and from the evil of the envier when he envies.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
قل أعوذ برب الناس.
Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of mankind,
ملك الناس.
the King of mankind,
إله الناس.
the true God of mankind,
من شر الوسواس الخناس.
from the mischief of the whispering elusive prompter who returns again and again,
الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس.
who whispers in the hearts of people,
من الجنة والناس.
whether he be from the jinn or humans.